So, have you ever been in a situation where you are getting enough sleep, but you're still tired, you're still exhausted, and maybe you're one of the few who has already seen a sleep physician and you had a sleep study and you were told it's normal, you're eating healthy, you're doing all the things, and you're still tired? The reason why that is happening is because you need a different form of rest. Hi there, I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi Brown. I am the founder of Restful Sleep MD and the Restful Sleep Place, where we help families, children, and their parents embrace sleep as a superpower, change their relationship with sleep so that they can live to their fullest potential. And today I want to share with you how to embrace rest. So, what is rest? Rest is not just sleeping. I mean, that's usually the common thing we think about. Oh, I need to rest. I'm going to go take a nap. Oh, I need to rest. I'm going to take some vacation, right? I'm talking about holistic rest, where you are resting with where your mental health is concerned, cognition, your sensory rest. We're talking emotional rest. We're talking creative rest. We're talking spiritual rest. And of course, physical rest, because those are the different dimensions of rest. There's an incredible author that I follow. Her name is Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith. And she wrote this book called Sacred Rest. And really, that's been a book I've read over and over again. And I would encourage you to pick a copy on Amazon. And I'm going to put a link to in the notes so you can grab it. Now, I don't get any profits from that. It's just a book that I think every busy mom or every busy individual who's trying to up level their rest and really get to understand rest should read. Okay, back to rest, right? Now, we are in a time and an age where people are drained, people are burnt out, people are sleep deprived, and people have no boundaries. And gone was the time when you would say, ask a question, maybe you ask someone and say, oh, how are you doing? And they'll be like, well, I'm fine. You know what? A lot of times people are saying, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm exhausted, right? Because folks are tired and tired of being tired. And so today I want to share with you five, no, I would say four or five tips. Listen, who's counting? That really helps you to embrace rest. Okay. Now, I am a lover of acronyms, in case you didn't know, because I think that it helps me remember things. And when I created this acronym, honestly, I didn't realize what an impact it was going to make in my life as well as in the lives of those that I share it with, which is maybe I'm speaking at an event or running a workshop or facilitating some speaking some session or educational session or the other. So we're going to delve into that. And what I want you to take away from it is rest is something that we have to be intentional about. Okay. Now, rest is that acronym for how to rest. So it starts with R. R starts with respect boundaries. Respect boundaries. And what are boundaries? Boundaries are a way to keep us safe as well as keep those that we love and those around us safe. And it's really about really creating a time where you end and somebody else starts. And if you think about it as a mom, everything is all merged, right? You don't even know where you start and the kids end. Bedtime, there are no boundaries with work, there are no boundaries with ourselves, there are no boundaries, right? Coming in, revenge bedtime procrastination, right? So we don't really set those boundaries. And when we don't set boundaries, we don't know where to set the limits, right? Where does where does taking sleep or prioritizing sleep come in if you are not setting the right boundaries with yourself, with your family, and at your workplace, right? So it's really important that we start with that. So what's an example? Start to get used to saying no. Start to get used to setting a bedtime, right? And don't budge on that. When someone says, oh, I want us to talk about this, that, and the other, or your boss says, oh, I know it's 9 p.m., but I want you to take care of this. Really setting those boundaries. As a leader, setting those boundaries. As a parent, setting those boundaries to say, okay, this is what we do at bedtime. We're going to read two books. We're going to pick this PJs or this PJs. We're going to brush your teeth first, or, whatever the other thing is. You're still setting boundaries while giving people a little bit of option. right? That's really something that is so critical. And I feel like it's so missing, especially if you're someone who's a people pleaser and you have a hard time saying no. Boundaries are a must because then you're actually being able to be a better version of yourself for the other people that you're trying to serve. So that's R. The next is E, and that's expectations. So you really have to set expectations, and those expectations have to be realistic. We can't afford to keep comparing ourselves to other people. Gone are the days where we think we're all running the same race, right? You compare yourself on social media to that mom who just seems to have it all together and has like a Pinterest worthy home and Pinterest, worthy fifth daughter's birthday party. And then you're feeling guilty because your house is a mess and the dishes piling up and you probably almost forgot your 5 year old's birthday party or something, whatever, right? So set the expectations. What is the expectation that works for you where you are in your stage of life? Because when you're able to set those expectations, then you become more realistic as to, okay, well, this may be something that works for other people, but it doesn't work for me. And when you're able to set those expectations, you ditch that superwoman complex that makes you feel like you can do everything. No, you can't. I mean, you can do everything, but not all at the same time, right? So really get established with setting expectations. And you know what? That applies to sleep as well. Set expectations in terms of how much sleep does my child need? How much sleep do I need, right? If these are the expectations that I get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, then I'm not going to be able to start, heading outside at 10 p.m. if I have to, wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. So it really does help you then create sort of structure around your life, around your kids' life, and around work as well. S stands for, yes, you got it right. It's sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Yes. Rest involves sleep, right? Most times, again, we usually talk about sleep as a form of rest. So, how does sleep become a priority? I usually talk about one, making sure that you set boundaries, you have a set bedtime, a set wake time, you stick to consistency, you have a routine that helps you wind down and get ready for bed because it cues your brain to know that it's time for sleep. You have an environment that you optimize for your sleep. So making sure it's cool, it is dark, it is free of noise, or you get earplugs, especially if you have a snoring spouse or noise outside, right? And then A is you assign the bed for sleep and intimacy. You don't do everything else in bed. So the bed should not be the place where you're worried. The bed should not be the place where you're finishing up work or you're, watching TV or finishing up dinner. You don't want to do that. You really want to limit the time spent in bed to sleep. And then T stands for technology, right? We do know the impact technology has on our sleep when we use phones and watch TV and things like that, and you consume all that very close to bedtime, it tends to delay your bedtime even further. And then E stands for eliminate. So, what are the things that you want to get rid of? So, would it be, things like your heavy meals, alcohol, caffeine, really running through mind drama, media consumption, right? So when you tackle those things, I usually call it create healthy sleep habits. So C stands for consistency, R was routine, E was the environment, A was assign the bed for sleep, T was tackle technology, and E was eliminate, right? So when you follow all those, you get better sleep. And of course, you want to make sure if you have an underlying sleep disorder, if you know that in spite of practicing all these healthy sleep habits, you're still struggling with sleep, then you got to get checked out. You got to be seen to make sure that things are okay. Now, we talked about RES. T stands for two things, which is why I said it may be four or it may be five. So I'm going to give you a bonus because you hung out with me this long. T stands for one, Thanksgiving, and taking stock. So, Thanksgiving meaning gratitude, right? We're in a world that is so negative. We're in a world where we're constantly seeing the glass half empty, right? When you switch and change that perspective to say, well, it seems like quite a few things are not working, but I'm going to celebrate what is working. I'm going to show gratitude. And I recommend doing this through journaling, through prayer, meditation, talking with somebody. Just having that attitude of gratitude, one has been shown to improve your sleep quality. And it's also been shown to decrease the time it takes to fall asleep. So it helps your sleep and it helps your overall mental health as well. And then the next or the final T is take stock. Just check from time to time, check in with yourself to say, how are things going? How am I really doing? Right? How do I feel today? What do I need to do to feel better today? What do I need to do to feel more rested? What do I need to do to make sure that I get the rest I need, or that I get the help I need, or that I need to delegate, right? So taking stock will then help you kind of measure, right? Most times people tend to do this at the end of the year where it's like, okay, we're going to do a recap of the year and see what went well or what didn't go well. I recommend you do this even more frequently. Don't wait till the end of the year. You should take stock at the end of the day. Take stock at the end of your week. Take stock at the end of the month. Take stock at the end of the quarter. Constantly reevaluating and saying, how do I need to shift things so that I'm a better rested version of myself? Right? Because that is so critical. Because if you don't know how far off you are from your goal, it's going to be hard to retrace your steps, right? So it's really important that we do that. Okay. So we've talked about respecting your boundaries. We've talked about expectations being set. We've talked about S, which is sleep as a priority, and we talked about Thanksgiving and taking stock. I want you to tell me, and would love to know in the comments, which one of these are you going to start with? Because sometimes you may feel like, oh my God, 5 steps, it's too much. Just pick one. Pick one and say, okay, I'm going to work on boundary setting. Again, it's boundaries with yourself, boundaries with your family, with loved ones, boundaries with work, right? So really start to say, okay, I'm going to work on the expectations. Where am I wearing the superwoman cape? Listen, exhaustion is a sign of chaos, like Ariana Huffington said. There's really no point trying to be the savior of the world. Okay, somebody did that already. You don't need to do it again, right? So pick one and start with that. And then when it comes to sleep, what do I need to do to sleep better? And this is really where we come in at the Restful Sleep Place. So if you are a parent and you have a child or a young adult, or you as well are struggling with sleep issues, then make a call, schedule a call with us, or make an appointment online. So you could either go to therestfulsleepplace.com or restfulsleepmd.com, or you could give us a call, 215 607 8297. This is where we will make sleep a priority for you, and we will figure out what is getting in your way of getting restful sleep. And we do this in a very holistic manner where we're listening to you and we're making sure that the recommendations we give aligns with your values, with your family's values, and helps you end up being the best version of yourself. Because a well-rested individual, whether it's a mom, a child, or a dad, a parent, a well-rested individual will change the world. And we're here to help you do that. So I hope this has provided value to you. This is a little bit different, right? I'm not here to talk medical stuff. I'm not here to talk, all that. I'm here to really help you to embrace rest in this season. And I hope that you will push it forward, you will pay it forward by sharing this content with somebody else. Share it with a woman in your world that you think, listen, here are some things that you might want to check into, especially if you're constantly tired. And so until next time, I hope you rest well. Bye.